Good morning, dear students. Welcome again to the Google Classroom of Sri Gokulam Public School, Guruvayur. Let's recall what all things we have discussed in the previous class. We have learned that forces are due to an interaction. We have also discussed that when the forces are applied in the same direction, it gets added up. And in the same way, when the forces are applied in the opposite direction, it gets subtracted. So now let us learn that force can change the state of motion. Let us see some examples.
Force can change the state of motion. Let's take an example of football. There are two players. One is to kick the ball and the other player supposed to stop the ball, which we usually call as penalty kick in a football. Now before the player starts kicking, the ball is at rest. The ball is not moving. Now when the player kicks the ball or applies the force on the ball starts to move from rest. Before, the ball was in rest, but when he applied the force, the ball started moving to the direction where he applied the force. Now the ball is in motion. And as it moves towards the goalkeeper had applied the force to stop the ball. But one thing which is very important, he had stopped the ball by applying the force in opposite direction of the motion of the ball. So what we have understood over here is that ball was at rest earlier. So once the player kicks the ball, or which means he had applies the force, the state of rest is changed to state of motion, which means the ball started moving and then the goalkeeper stopped the ball. He had again applied a force to change the state of motion into state of rest. So what we have learnt over here is a force can change the state of motion of a body.
On a daily basis, we walk, we run, we sit or stand. So in all these activities, we are changing the state of motion. We are bringing some object to rest or bringing it in motion. So actually what we are doing, we are actually applying a force on an object while the object in rest or in motion. So how we will explain state of motion? State of motion of an object is described by its speed and direction of motion. The state of rest is considered to be the state of zero speed. So an object may be at rest or in motion. Both are its state of motion. So this was all about the force can change the state of motion. Now let us discuss that force can change the shape of an object. Let us see some examples. Now suppose you have a ball. So what do you think will happen if you apply some force on the ball? If you press the ball from both the sides using your hands, the shape of the ball changes. This shows that the force application can bring about a change in the shape of the object.
Now let's take a few more examples. Just think of your toothpaste tube now. Whenever you press the tube, the toothpaste comes out of it. But have you ever noticed at the same time the shape of the tube also changes? So what changes the shape of the tube? It is due to the force which is applied on the tube, which causes a change in shape of the tube. Squeezing of a plastic bottle changes the shape of the bottle. Stretching a rubber band. So in all these examples, you saw that the application of force on an object may change its shape. Now, having performed all the above activities, you would have realized that a force can move a stationary object. A force can stop a moving object. A force can change the speed of a moving object. A force can change the Direction of moving object. A force can change the shape and size of an object.
Let me conclude today's session. I hope you have understood what we have discussed in the class. We have discussed that a force can change the state of motion, a force can change the shape of an object, and effects of force. I have attached the URL video and notes to the classroom. And please attend the test paper and post it. See you in the next class. Till then, goodbye.